Solana's price has taken a dive just as we anticipated yesterday. And today we're going to do an update on what's very likely to happen because it's just as we anticipated. We're also going to do an update on Terra Luna Classic. The correction has been quite deep, so we just need to reevaluate just to really see what's happening so we can stack the odds in our favor so we have the highest probability of making good money from trading the market. So if you like today's video, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Let's dive straight into Solana. So literally yesterday, I did this video on Solana, and what we said was a couple of things. Looks like a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have something called a bearish divergence occurring. There's a few other Fibonacci factors, and we said we're likely to get the first leg of the correction, and then some type of B and C. And this part, boy, it just felt like it was jumping off a building, right? So let's just look at a live chart now with Solana. Look at this. Jeez, look at that. Talk about textbook, right? You know, it hit that fib level, and boom, we did get the bearish reversal. So this is momentum. Basically, this is rate of change showing weakness where price was showing strength. Well, that in itself is a sign of weakness, and you'll normally get a follow through. Another thing to keep in mind, just with all markets, is when you get this hopium wave. Wave fives are like hopium, based on hope. Literally, people crossing their fingers, aiming to get enriched tomorrow. And a lot of beginners get caught out on this wave, and you want to be on high alert with this wave. But when it is bigger than wave 3, you'll find that the initial leg of the correction tends to be quite deep. So we're going to look into this in a bit more depth now with Solana, because it's quite obvious what's happening right now, especially with this bearish reversal that we've got as well. Now, just very quickly, if you want access to this chart, you can click on the link. You can actually view it, and you can actually upload it into your own trading view, Solana, as well as some other charts as well. So that's free. It's in the description link below, just to help your trade analysis, because I know sometimes it can be difficult to do this analysis when you're first starting out, because everything in life is difficult before it's easy. So let's now dive into a 60-minute chart. So I'm going to jump out of this. When you click on the view, you'll get a full screen setup. And if you upload it into your own trading view, you can edit it as you see fit. So we're going to go into a 1-hour chart. And what I really want to focus on is this part of the market, right? What do you see happening over here to the downside, right? Do you see any particular pattern? Well, the first question I always ask myself is, does it look impulsive or corrective? In other words, are there overlapping waves, or is it an aggressive wave in one direction? Here it's really aggressive, right? You can see it. It just looks like a really nice initial move down, a 1, 2, and then we've got this next wave occurring, which looks like a 3. We're probably going to get some type of wave 4, and then another leg down to make a wave 5. So if we do get some type of pullback, this is quite deep, right? That's really deep. But if we do get some type of pullback like this, maybe not as deep as that, over here somewhere, there might be some short-term shorting opportunities. But the main thing to keep in mind with Solana, if I just go back to the daily chart, is most corrections finish in 3 waves. So we should anticipate a move like this, which is already occurring, some type of pullback, and then a third leg down as a minimum. And then, you know, there might be some shorting opportunities here, but there also might be some, you know, in the next day or so, because the momentum is down, and you always want to be trading in the direction of the trend. So if the trend is pointing down, which it is right now on the daily chart, on the hourly, you want to be only betting down, but we want to take into consideration it might be coming towards the end of a wave A, so to speak. By the way, my job here is to help you make money from the markets by stacking the odds in your favor. And if you want to become one of my students, you can now actually take my 4 Secrets Trading Masterclass. It's free, but it just shows you what we do, how we do it, because it looks like we've got a crystal ball, right? Because yesterday we said Solana is likely to tank. This is what we said, right? And it was based on technicals, based on applied psychology, where we're reading the markets based on really the 4 secrets. So if you want to know how we do it and how you can do it, take the 4 Secrets Masterclass. You can then apply it yourself to other markets. You have an opportunity to buy one of my courses, huge discount. In fact, there's a whole bundle. We're giving away so much right now. So just access that, get into my community, Telegram, weekend workshops, and a lot more. So I told you we're going to do an update of Terra Luna Classic. Just note that the momentum on the daily chart is bearish, right? I don't like to trade against the trend. And let me just show you what I mean by that. So if I just go into the top right hand corner, the Terra Luna Classic, I know there's a lot on the chart right now. The main thing that I'm paying attention to is this here. We do have some bearish divergence, as in the price has gone slightly higher, just by a fraction, but the momentum has gone down, right? And I don't like to trade against the trend. So the trend is pointing down right now. I personally like to just be patient and wait for at least the momentum to go below this black line, because it really measures the rate of change. Ideally, a bullish reversal, and then look at the pattern position to see if there's any long trade setups. But I just wanted to do a quick update with this, because the correction is relatively deep with Lunar Classic at the moment. So there's a couple of things, right? What we want to just look at, just in an objective, mechanical, non-emotional way, because that's the only way you can trade successfully long term. I've been doing it for 15 years. Is if you're getting caught up in the emotions of ups and downs and highs and lows and making, crazy decisions, you just have to be careful. We want to be in the game like an athlete for years to come. 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. So we need to get systems in play which allows you to read the market like a pro. So let's just look at this now. So initially, what I said, I think a couple of days ago, was it looked like a 1, 2, a potential 3, and we're probably getting a wave 4, right? That's what we were looking at. But the correction's gone really deep. And when it does that, when it does a deep correction, that doesn't look like a wave 4. It could still be a wave 4 because it hasn't technically closed into this range. So it might be a deep wave 4. Either way, we don't need to concern ourselves too much. What we just want to do is just be really aware we've had an impulsive move up. And at the moment, it still looks corrective. Still a 3-wave structure to the downside. So let's just do some basic analysis. We're going to do some fib price. I just want to see this low to the high. And what I want to do is just the most corrections end between 50 and 78.6. And we can tell where we're at this extreme level, right? The 78.6% level. So I'm going to really pay special attention to that for a second. And, remember, the market's almost nothing. Around 40 to 60% of the time, Elliott wave patterns are pretty clear. And, more often than not, if they all line up in terms of pattern, price, time, and momentum, then we can look to, really trade this. Sometimes it's not a perfect setup, but we'll look at this. So what we want to do as well, I just want to do some quick time analysis on this as well. Again, by the way, in the 4 secrets, this is what the 4 secrets is, right? It's I'm not trying to keep it a secret. But this is the typical maximum time it will take to finish a correction. And I just want to do one other thing. I'm not going into too much depth on what I'm doing here. I covered this in the masterclass. I just want to have a quick feel for where the price psychology is at. Yeah, so it seems like, okay, this is what it looks like to me, right? Keep in mind the daily momentum is still bearish. Now, sometimes you get a reversal and the momentum is still bearish, but you just wait for the first pullback. So, by the way, if you want this chart as well, I think the Terra Luna Classic is on my list. Yeah, it is. Terra Luna Classic, you can upload this chart as well. You can view only. So what I'm doing on the chart right now, once I click save, that'll be live on the same link. So you can get access to that as well. So what I'm looking at, and I'm going to finish on this, is this part of the market here, this wave C. What you want to know is these cycles and trends, right? It's just crowd psychology, fear and greed playing out time and time again. And wave Cs typically break down into a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave pattern. And if that's the case, then we can really pinpoint the end of a potential C. And I've written the term 2 or B, as we've got this move up, we've got some type of correction. Wave 2s and wave Bs, they look identical, so you don't really know. But what comes next, whether it's a wave C or a wave 3, is this high getting exceeded. That's what we're anticipating. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. Market's almost nothing. It's just, that's just what we're looking at. So, so what I'm going to do now is called some end of wave 5 analysis. Right, so we're going to do something called 2 degrees of wave count. We're technically doing 3 because this is a wave. We're looking for a wave 5 of a C, of a 2 or B, right? Go, Jiggy, what are you going on about? I'm telling you guys, this is why I created the masterclass. I know everything is difficult before it's easy. I've been doing this 15 years, so I really want to teach you just the things to really pay attention to and the things to really ignore. And there are really 4. There are more than 4, but 4 is like the 20% that's going to give you the 80% of your results. And that's really, really important. So that's free. That's in the description. So the question I want to ask you is, do you see any pattern in from here? And let's just say it's not complete. So I'm going to draw here. Do you see any particular pattern? Right? You can even pause the video and see if you can draw it on the chart. So what I see is we got this initial move down. We got some type of pullback. So it looks like a wave 1, wave 2. And then it looks like a nice impulsive move to the downside. That looks like a wave 3. This looks like a potential ABC of a 4. And we look like we're going to get at least one more leg to the downside. That will coincide with the momentum. The momentum is something called overbought. When it's in this upper zone, it normally coincides with, you can see it over here, with highs over here. So we're probably going to get one more move to the downside. And then this could be the end of that wave C. And that allows you to really get in tight to the market. If you're trading the market, if you're buying the underlying token, well, at least you kind of get a feel for what's likely to occur next. And then I'm going to show you something called a pattern reversal signal, because you can catch a falling knife, right? But you probably cut your hand. And what I mean by a falling knife is the price is falling, and some people try and just try and buy here, which you can do, but it's very dangerous because, technically the price is coming down. I like the price to trigger me into a trade by placing an order. So what I would like to see happen is this low to get exceeded. This then confirms this as a wave 4, as in high probability. And then an early entry could be, as long as the momentum's in your favor, is going long if the price goes above here and we get a bullish reversal. And then also just being on high alert about the daily momentum. Because sometimes you can trade against the daily momentum, but you have to have the experience of going, why? Is there enough indication that the price is going to reverse? The other way to do it is you actually wait for the price to go above a swing high and then wait for the first pullback. Wait for the first pullback and then go long. So let's just do some detailed analysis. I love this stuff, by the way. You probably gathered it by now. So let me just bring the drawings back on the chart. What I want to do is, let's just do a 5-wave count here. So this is what we said earlier, right? 1, 2, looks like a 3, 4, and it looks like a potential wave 5 forming, right? Obviously, let's just change the degree of wave count. So what I mean by degree of wave count is like you got think of it like a tide, and then you got your waves, and then you got your ripples, right? So it's like big waves, small waves, and then smaller waves. And that's what we mean here. We've got these intermediate waves that are occurring, and then there's a micro waves or minor waves within that. So that's why we're using the term minor over here. Let's just change the color. Doesn't matter what color it is, just that it's different. So you can see the difference between the 2 degrees of wave counts. And we've potentially got this wave 5 over C over 2 or B, right? Hopefully I'm making some sense. Now, another thing you want to, and we'll finish on this, is keep in mind is this selling behavior, which is the waves and the minor waves, the intermediate waves, they have a relationship to one another. And we've measured some of them already, right? We've measured the 78.6 is the typical maximum correction. Doesn't mean it can't go deeper, but it's the most common, most high probability maximum. And we've got this 100% alternate price projection, because wave A's and wave C's, they often equal each other. You want to be really on high alert about that as well. But what we're also going to do now is wave 1 to 3 has a relationship to wave 5. And so I'm going to just show you this relationship. And I'm going to do it. I cover this in the masterclass. And my course is more in particular. The reason I've done the masterclass for free, just so you can really check me out. Like, try before you buy kind of thing. And if you like it, I would highly recommend getting my courses, because it's stuff that really works. So this is the typical wave 5. Now, wave 5, this green number is above this high over here. Oh, sorry, low is above this low over here. So we can just get rid of that. And there is a typical maximum as well. Like if it overextends. So I'm just going to draw that in as well. So let's now get rid of this one. In fact, we'll just get rid of that. It's just such a high. The fact that it's clustered over so tightly in this zone, this makes it a high probability zone. But even when it's looking as good as this, keep in mind daily momentum still down. Because of that, I would wait for a move up, pull back, and then look to go long on the first pullback. let's just draw it as a box. So when you download the charts, you have it like this. I'm just going to draw it like this. This is what we want to be on high alert for. And then yeah, so if it holds, again, I can't emphasize it enough. We want a pattern reversal signal. There's 3 strong ones, and they all have give and take in terms of one will be earlier, but it's higher risk. One will be later, lower risk, but you're getting in later. And then the other one will be the latest, but again, you're minimizing your risk. And it's really swing highs. You got the wave 4, you got a wave A overlap, you got a wave B exceeding the wave B, and if you want to be really patient, is waiting for this to get exceeded. But again, you ideally want to probably choose one of these 3 based on your risk tolerance and just have acceptable capital exposure. In other words, like risking 2% to find out if you're right. So if you want to become one of my students and work closer with me, my community is phenomenal. We got some great workshops that we do. What did we cover on Saturday? We covered how to lock in profits in a mechanical, non-emotional way, but also capital preservation. That was last weekend, or like literally a couple of days ago. So 4 Secrets is free. Check it out. Work closer with me. I'm telling you, the next 3 to 10 years, this is what our vision is to help you, really lock in profits, but on a consistent basis. And so it's not a short-term game, it's a long-term, consistent game. So if you like today's video, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Solana was on point. Terra Luna Classic. These patterns just unfold time and time again. Let's finish with a quote from my book. Let's go with chapter 3 today, and it's Confucius. And he said this: "It does not matter how slowly you go, as long as you do not stop." Right? Every chapter I start with a quote. You can actually download my book for free as well. It's really good for your mind and goal setting and a few other factors here, just in terms of making money and financial freedom and so on and so forth. So it does not matter how slowly you go, as long as you do not stop. Another way of saying that is everything is difficult. No matter who you are, if I'm learning something new for the first time, it's difficult. You just got to put down the work, right? You just got to do the work, and then it becomes easy, right? Like driving a car, initially, it's quite daunting, right? You're on the road. There's a lot of moving parts. You got your steering wheel, your clutch, your gas, your gear stick. You got the belt. You got the mirrors. You might have someone else in the car, and then there's like literally, roads and traffic lights and signs and so much going on, right? But then with practice, if you've been driving for a while, it's second nature, right? Now it's easy. Trading's the same. And that's why I've put together the 4 secrets. Initially, to get your head around it, it takes a bit of work. But then if you've been doing it for a few weeks, a few months, and a few years, all of a sudden, like driving a car, you'll be able to drive the markets, ride the markets, and see things that other people just can't see, but it just comes with practice. So again, check it out, and I'll see you very soon. Solana, yeah, I'm looking... I should have taken that short yesterday, I was thinking about this. One of the things you can do with experience is you make executive decisions. So one of the reasons we didn't take Solana short yesterday was the momentum was technically still bullish, but we could see it would just take one down bar to really reverse the trend. So with experience, you can make that executive decision and going, right, if we get a down bar, pattern strong, price is strong, time is strong, but the momentum is just not in play yet, then, I tend to be quite strict with my rules because I'm here for the long term. We don't want to be double guessing. But there are times when it's so clear that you can. But with Solana, what I'll be looking to do is wait for the first pullback and then look to short. And then we'll see how it unfolds and we'll just readdress the market at that time as well.